The humid glow of a September dusk in 2024 settled over Cedar Hollow, a quiet suburb tucked along the rolling hills of Western Virginia, where tidy lawns and picket fences framed the homes of Willow Creek Estates. Ethan Parker, a 35-year-old paramedic, dragged himself up his driveway after a punishing 14-hour shift at the county hospital, his boots heavy with the weight of blood and adrenaline. The faint smell of antiseptic clung to his uniform, his shoulders sagged, and all he craved was a shower and the familiar creak of his own bed. But as he fumbled his key into the front door of his modest brick house, the lock refused to turn. He tried again, jiggling it, then froze. The deadbolt was new, shiny, alien, not his. "What the hell?" he muttered, stepping back to check the address, half convinced he'd stumbled to the wrong porch. 6 years he'd lived here, pouring sweat into every repair, paying every HOA fee on time, never once ignoring a notice about grass height or mailbox paint. His pulse quickened, anger rising. Then the screen door next door squeaked, and a voice sliced through the evening air. "Marcus." There she was, Sharon Walsh, the 45-year-old HOA president, striding across her manicured lawn in a lavender cardigan and beige capris, her sunglasses perched like a crown. Clipboard in hand, she moved with the smug assurance of someone who thrived on control. "Locked out?" she asked, her head tilting with mock pity, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Ethan gripped his key, voice tight. "Someone changed my locks." Sharon sighed, theatrical and sharp. "Yes, we did. The board voted unanimously. Your backyard shed violates our aesthetic standards. You ignored our notices, so we took emergency action under subsection 19 of the charter." Ethan stepped off his porch, boots crunching gravel. "You broke into my house." Sharon waved her clipboard like a scepter. "Don't be dramatic, Marcus. We hired a locksmith, perfectly legal. Remove the shed, and you'll get your keys." Ethan's fists clenched, his voice rising. "That shed's been there 5 years, approved in writing by the last president." Sharon turned, already dismissing him. "He's not in charge anymore." Ethan stood rooted, the neighborhood's quiet hum mocking his rage. Curtains twitched down the street, neighbors watching, whispering, but no one stepped out. That shed, a sturdy cedar structure he'd built for his tools and his late father's old workbench, was no violation. It was his anchor, a piece of the man who'd taught him to fix what was broken. Sharon's smug retreat lit a fire in his chest. This wasn't about rules. It was about power, and she'd picked the wrong fight. That night, he slept in his truck, the cab cramped and cold, his breath fogging the windows. By dawn, after a gritty shave in a gas station sink and 3 cups of bitter coffee, Ethan made 2 calls, one to his friend Nate Ellis, a lawyer, and another to a security firm specializing in Fort Knox-level installations. By noon, a crew was measuring his front door. "What's going in?" the foreman asked, clipboard ready. Ethan crossed his arms. "A bank vault door. Full steel, passcode entry, 3,000 pounds. The kind that laughs at bolt cutters." The guy blinked. "Storing gold or what?" Ethan's jaw tightened. "Keeping out Karens." The vault door arrived Wednesday morning, a flatbed truck groaning into his driveway as the sun crested the rooftops, casting long shadows across Cedar Hollow. The crew, in navy jumpsuits, eyed the house warily. "You serious about this?" the lead asked, scanning the specs. "Every bolt," Ethan said. "I want it done by tonight." As they unloaded the rig, Ethan circled his property, spotting a tampered utility panel, wires clipped, alarm bypassed with crude tool marks. He snapped photos, zooming in on the scratches. This wasn't just about a shed. Someone had planned this intrusion, disabling his security to lock him out. His gut pointed to Sharon, but he needed proof. He drove to City Hall, where Ellen Tate, a zoning clerk with wire-rimmed glasses and a penchant for bluntness, pulled his shed's records. "Your approval's valid," she said, tapping her screen. "No new ordinances revoke it." Ethan frowned. "Then how's the HOA seizing my house?" Ellen's fingers flew, then stopped. "They filed an emergency variance last month, claiming your shed blocks utility lines." She unrolled a blueprint. "No lines run under your yard." Ethan's pulse quickened. "Who approved it?" Ellen squinted. "A temp inspector, Victor Hayes. Doesn't work here now." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Sharon's cousin." Ellen's eyes narrowed. "That's going to the city attorney." Back home, The vault door was half installed, its steel frame gleaming like a challenge. Neighbors gathered lawn chairs, iced tea, gawking like it was a county fair. Ethan nodded but didn't linger, slipping inside via the side door. A faint scuff on the hallway baseboard caught his eye-shoe marks, not his. He photographed them, his anger simmering. Nate called, voice urgent. Your shed's legit, but that variance is fraud. It's criminal trespass, unlawful entry, and falsified documents a felony. I'm filing an injunction tomorrow to get your keys back and alerting the DA. Ethan stared out his window, watching Sharon freeze mid-step as she spotted the vault door. Good, he said. But I'm not done. That evening, he requested 6 months of HOA meeting minutes, his right as a dues-paying member. The next morning, he marched to the HOA officia converted garage reeking of air freshener and arrogance. A nervous clerk hesitated over the audio recordings. Section 6, Paragraph 4. Ethan said, ID raised. They're public if I ask. The clerk relented, handing over a USB and binder. That night, Ethan listened to every grating second petty debates over fence colors, mailbox styles, until a bombshell dropped. 3 months ago, Sharon had pitched a pilot enforcement program to test administrative limits. Her voice, smug and clear. Start with 1, set precedent. Pick someone isolated, too busy to fight. A neighbor asked, what if they resist? Sharon laughed. Bury them in fines. We'll outlast them. Ethan's blood ran cold. He sent the clip to Nate, who nearly choked. That's collusion. It's conspiracy. Send it now. Sleep eluded Ethan, but not from fear. Resolve was taking root. By dawn, a patrol car idled outside. Officer Clara Monroe, clipboard in hand, gave the vault door a wry glance before knocking. Mr. Parker, we got a report of forced entry and tampered infrastructure, plus a forged utility claim. Ethan handed over his photos and documents. Matches the city attorney's complaint, she said, nodding. We're investigating the HOA board. Know anyone else targeted? Ethan listed 4 neighbors fined after opposing Sharon's re-election. Clara's jaw tightened. That's a pattern. That weekend, Ethan hosted a lawn meeting, setting up chairs and a speaker. 30 neighbors came, their faces a mix of shock and anger as he played Sharon's audio, passed out the forged variants, and showed the tampered panel photos. This isn't just me, he said. She's bullied us all. Gasps turned to murmurs, then resolve. By Tuesday, 42 homeowners signed a petition to freeze HOA authority. Sharon called an emergency board meeting, but no one attended. Her power was crumbling. The vault door stood firm, its keypad blinking defiantly. Thursday morning, Sharon's lawn was eerily Barino flamingo lawn ornaments. No community pride, flagpole, just dead grass patches. Ethan was repairing his fence when a black SUV rolled up. Detective Lucas Hayes stepped out, badge glinting. Mr. Parker, I'm with County Investigations. Your petition and evidence forgery, trespass, embezzlement got our attention. Ethan leaned on his hammer. Embezzlement. Lucas nodded. HOA budgets don't match vendor payments. Landscaping firms listed don't exist. Ethan's jaw tightened. Sharon's signature? Lucas's silence spoke volumes. That afternoon, plainclothes officers raided the HOA office, carting out boxes, laptops, and a cash box. Neighbors gawked, whispering, as the news spread. Ethan didn't stay, headed to City Hall for an emergency council hearing on the HOA's suspension. Inside, tension crackled. Sharon sat rigid, flanked by 2 shell-shocked board members, avoiding Ethan's gaze. Council Chairwoman Maria Ellis banged her gavel. We're here to assess if the Willow Creek Shores HOA board violated laws or its charter, warranting intervention. Nate stood, voice steady. We'll prove the board abused authority, fabricated claims, and unlawfully entered a resident's property. He submitted photos, audio, blueprints. Sharon paled as her voice echoed. Bury them in fines. Maria's gaze pierced her. MS. Walsh, respond. Sharon's voice cracked. This is a smear campaign. We acted for the community. Maria cut in. You broke into a home, misrepresented code, and funneled funds to fake companies. Sharon stammered, silenced. Ethan rose. I request a restraining order barring the board from funds or enforcement until the investigation's done. Maria nodded. Granted, effective now. The board is suspended. Sharon stood, her chair toppling. You can't. I built this community. A scoff echoed from the back. You built a fiefdom, Maria said. And it's falling. Outside, neighbor Sophie Reed, a young mom, approached Ethan. I didn't know we could fight back, she said, clutching a stroller. They count on that, Ethan replied. Days later, a fire gutted the HOA office arson. Accelerant poured through a crawlspace. A warped USB, hidden behind drywall, survived, revealing Sharon's recordings of threats and leverage against residents. Ethan met the oversight committee at Sophie's house, where she shared a lead. Sharon's former IT guy, her ex-husband's nephew, had warned of hidden drives in a storage unit under Victor's name, billed to the HOA. With a warrant, Detective Lucas raided it, uncovering binders, drives, and a whiteboard listing residents' non-compliance, with threats to ruin their mortgages. Sharon's voice, on one recording, mocked a veteran's flagpole. Another coached Victor to fake utility surveys. Within 48 hours, charges piled up: racketeering, wire fraud, evidence destruction. Sharon and Victor were arrested, Victor nabbed in Tennessee under an alias. The DA dissolved the HOA's old charter. Residents voted for a new, limited one with term limits, transparency, and a 3-person review for enforcement. Sharon's assets were frozen, her home seized, funds returned to a $250,000 reserve. At her sentencing, Sharon sat diminished, no cardigan, just a gray suit and defeat. 12 years for her, 9 for Victor, no parole. Victor's contractor license was revoked. Ethan watched from the gallery, feeling not triumph, but closure. Sophie joined him outside, the courthouse lawn golden. It's done, she said. Ethan nodded. But we don't go back. We build better. That evening, his vault door gleamed, a quiet sentinel. Cedar Hollow felt lighter. Kids raced bikes, neighbors waved. Sophie's toddler scrawled "No Karens" in chalk, making Ethan laugh. Weeks later, Ethan led workshops for other suburbs, sharing bylaws, audits, legal paths. HOAs resigned preemptively. Some adopted Cedar Hollow's model. Helping neighbor Darius fix his truck, now free from parking fines, Ethan glimpsed a new community open, unafraid. He boxed his evidence in a fireproof safe, not for fear but history. The vault door stayed. A reminder, some build walls to exclude. He built one to protect what was his. As the sun dipped, painting the cul-de-sac gold, Ethan sipped coffee on his porch, grounded in a freer home, ready to help others lock out their Karens. Was Ethan's vault door defiance or overkill? Should Sharon's sentence be lighter or harsher? Can Cedar Hollow's reforms last, or will new Sharons emerge? Share your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for stories that demand your fight.